Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and the purple prune is getting attacked by the silver surfer. And we're jumping into a stage immediately so you guys can see what is up with Norin Rad. How good is he? Whoa, he's golden now. How good is he at level 60? What can you expect after you spend basically all of the money you've ever... all the gold you've ever saved in Marvel Future Fight on this one character, and what does the future hold for Norin Rad? I can't necessarily answer all of those questions, but I'll do my best to show off... that was bad timing. To show off Norin Rad getting hit by multiple lasers back to back to back. He's got very powerful... Let me proc this for the heal. We didn't even get a heal that time. I don't know. Anyways, he's got multiple different effects that make him very, very strong, and I'm just gonna show you without even talking about the build. We're gonna sneak in the build later on, but I want you to see what Mr. Norin can do without you knowing what his build is. I think that makes it a little bit more exciting. There, we did get the tag to go off. We're gonna get hit here, so that's not good. But in the meantime, we can not die. Hopefully we can not die. Not dying is a good thing, but we're very, very close right now. Not too good on the HP frontier, but very, very good on the damage frontier. So there's two things that you can take away right away. Norin Rad, aka Silver Surfer, doesn't have much of a heal, although he has a heal. Well, I don't know, his HP went up by a lot actually. I don't know what the hell happened there. But his HP, the heal is actually only 15%. However, his damage is out of this world. Now, it does drop off a little bit more than a little bit, once Thanos has his debuff on, because of course the debuff makes all defense down not work anymore. But Norin can still put down some good damage. He's got nice damage on his 5-4 combo, which is how we are triggering his proc. You can see there, really, really nice. And then he also has nice damage on his... Oh, come on. That's just such bad timing. Such bad timing with that time freeze. He's also got good damage on his 3 cancel 2. So those are the primary attacks that we're doing. We're doing a 5 cancel 4 for a proc, and then we are doing a that was a little bit early, and then we're doing a 3 cancel 2 for some additional damage. Now, we're probably going to take... Yeah, we took damage there. We got kind of unlucky because he's lasering us, and he's up against a wall, so there's really no way for us to run around him. That's just kind of bad positioning on our part, but not too much we can do about that. We want to get him away from corners because that makes it a lot harder for him to do that. So there we go. Well, we're in another corner now, but it's not quite exactly the same. But you want that third skill. You want to proc the third skill for a bunch of different reasons. There's a bunch of different really good effects that you get from that third skill. So I might be dead here. Ooh, not dead. So yeah, you want to get that third skill. You want to hit it off, but it's kind of like Wolverine. It's quite hard to trigger. But we are on to the second last phase with 2 minutes left. This is a stage 25, no strikers. This is a really nice look at how much damage Silver Surfer can do, and I haven't even told you his build yet. Some of it is free-to-play friendly, some of it is not, so we're going to discuss that, but it is still, unfinished, which is the craziest part. So he can definitely still get a lot stronger. Man, if I don't stop killing him by running into different... I think I'm going to die here. Yeah, okay. By running into... I got time frozen like 3 times in the stupid fight. We probably could have gotten pretty close to a clear, but that's a nice first snapshot of his damage. So almost able to clear stage 25 without strikers for a level 60 tier 2 character is very impressive. Now, yes, he's got the double support. He's got the... Coulson guaranteed crit and the regular buff that Coulson gives, the all attack or the whatever increased damage against villains, and then he's also got the double buff from Nick Fury. He's got the 50% all attack, and he's got the increased damage against supervillains. But have a look at my build for Silver Surfer. We've got rank 1111, which it just happened to land on this number now because it keeps going up, because people are unlocking him and getting him. Let's talk about the build in the detail. So first of all, we've got max skill cooldown. We're a little bit over max because of our cards. We're not quite maxed out on ignore defense, but we'll get there. We got almost max attack speed, which I think is important for him to really cancel that 5 and get through the 4, because the 4th skill is really long. Then he's got 40% crit rate and 171 on the crit damage. Don't really worry about the dodge. Don't really worry about the HP right now. And we're rocking 22,000 energy attack. It's a little bit low on the energy attack stat, but that's okay for a universal type. Universal types don't have as high a base stat for their attack as blast or combats, but they're generally more well-rounded, and he's already above 30,000 HP. As far as the actual build goes, and he's actually not part of this team up at all, so he's not getting any bonuses here. As far as the rest of the build goes, I've got level 6 on the skills. On all the skills, it's very expensive, but you definitely want to level up at least 5, 4, and 3. Those are very important skills to get all the way. And then you have his gears. I've got them all at 20. I've got most of the the Uru slots awakened. We've got a couple of 6-star Uru. We've got an Odin's Blessing in there, but it's really just attack stats and then one ignore defense. So I definitely still have a lot to build here. It really just depends ultimately if I'm going to build him for PvE or PvP. And we'll talk about the pros and cons of both. As far as the ISO weight set, I've got a stage 11 Power of Angry Hulk. You could go with Overdrive because he doesn't get crit damage from his passives, but I do think that the extra chaotic for the HP and I think that the attack speed from Power of Angry Hulk are both important. I also rolled attack speed on his 4th gear to get a little bit closer to 130. And then the big reveal here, he doesn't have a uniform, but the other big reveal is I'm using a crit damage 120 proc. This is an obelisk that I rolled like 4 or 5 hours ago, and it is extremely free-to-play friendly. So on the one hand, yeah, the Odin's Blessing's not really free-to-play friendly. In general, he costs over 100 million gold, and he costs like, you know, probably close to or over 10,000 black antimatter. So while that is free-to-play friendly, it's not really intermediate player friendly. It's like veteran. So this is like veteran very veteran free-to-play friendly. I'm sure veterans have at least one Odin's Blessing by now for the most part. So I think this is a pretty decent build to for you to get an idea of, because you know, minus my cards, if you give him a better build, you might be able to get the same results as I'm getting, which is pretty cool. Now, before we jump back into some World Boss Ultimate action, I do want to just give a quick discussion on his actual potential, because a lot of people are talking about it. Some people are very impressed with his PvE performance, and I personally am also impressed. Some people are not impressed by his PvE performance, which is fine. You have different expectations than me. And then some people are not impressed and also curious about his PvP potential. I don't think you should judge Silver Surfer. I don't think we should judge Silver Surfer for at least another week to allow enough people to get to level 70, to get to gear 25, to really push him in PvP to see. He does have an extremely powerful PvP leadership. He also revives, which is a very powerful ability for PvP. He also has a passive effect that is almost entirely PvP focused. No PvE content inflicts incapacitation, so that's a PvP type of thing to have immunity for. Reflect is generally also a PvP category or kind of stat, because, you know, bosses have millions and millions and millions of HP. So reflecting, even if your reflect is 150%, can Destroyer really do anything in PvE? No, he can't. But he can in PvP because enemies only have 100,000 or maybe 200,000 HP, which is a much lower number that you can actually possibly kill them with if you can reflect back their damage fast enough. And then the damage reduction, the 30%, that could be for PvE, but you know what? It's mostly for PvP. Yeah, so pretty much all of his passives and his leadership are all PvP focused, which is very cool. Additionally, his 3rd skill has iframe ignore when it's triggered, when the counterattack is triggered. So again, that's also good for PvP. And then he does have some good PvE qualities. He's got the heal, which is nice. He's got the accumulation, which is also nice. And it's also true damage dealt. So it's not damage received, so you don't have to sit there taking damage. You can use Mind Control Strikers, which is really nice. And then his 5th skill, has massive self buffs, crit rate, and all attack, in addition to all defense down. All defense down, as we know, is a PvE ability. He's got immunity, and then he's got fracture. So he's got a heavy mix of both his PvE and PvP potential. I would say he leans more towards PvP, but right now I think even at level 70 gear 25, people are not that impressed with his PvP potential. Perhaps it's because the tier 3 syndrome, and we just can't really fight tier 3s with tier 2s anymore. Jean Grey was one of the only exceptions because her 5th skill, pretty much exclusively because her 5th skill, and some of her other skills have guard break immunity penetration. I think if you take that away from Jean Grey, she's going to suffer and she's going to struggle as much as the Silver Surfer does, or that he might right now. So now we're going to jump into some other action. I'm still kind of debating internally in my head whether to go with Ebony, Black Dwarf, or Corvus, but we're going to go ahead against Ebony Maw here, and we're going to see how he can do against a stage 40. Stage 40 is really where I can use Gambit quite easily, and Gambit is a nice paywall tier 2 level 70 character that I can compare him to with a CTP of energy. We're gonna go just a little bit above 40. We don't want to see, we're gonna see, can we go 43? We don't want to see Blade Twister. I don't like Blade Twister, so we're gonna go down to, let's see if 44 has it. It does. We're gonna go to 42. I think this is a nice test for him. We're gonna use the same team up again. We're not gonna use strikers. We just want to see how powerful Norrin Rad is. I've heard some great things about his PvE potential, and I want to see if he can do, and how much damage he can do, and if he can survive against Cull Obsidian for PvE. Is he worth the cost? I think ultimately this comes down to, I'm going to pass the buff this time around. Is he worth the cost? I think it really comes down to you guys and how you see his value panning out for you. But I do think that he is going to become a staple in the game. I don't think that Silver Surfer is going to be a forgotten character. If that helps out your decision any, I share that idea. But yeah, I do think that although he may not be the dominant #1 character now, he will come to some sort of, he will rest near the top, if not at the top. He's got high base movement speed. I'm not really trying to get hit too much using his 3rd skill, because although I like the counterattack and I like the heal, it's dangerous. It's quite dangerous. You can stand in the pools and trigger it, so it's not that bad. And you can also do 2, 5, 4. That's another combo you can do. You can do like a delayed 2 cancel, 5 cancel 4, and that should, man, I was trying not to get frozen there. And that should help you, oh, I'm gonna die actually. That should help you trigger your CTP. If you got a CTP of energy, you can get more chain hit damage on that. But I'm a little bit worried right now. We need, oh, I wasn't trying to do that at all. We need the puddles. We need those puddles to stay there. No! We needed the puddles to stay there because of the heal. I'm going to try to... No. Okay. Well, I think we did get a heal. Sometimes it seems like he heals for a lot more than 15%. I don't know. What the hell is 15% of 45,000? I don't know, but it seems like a lot, I guess. I don't know. 28? 28? Okay. We'll try to proc it again and see what happens. But we're having a pretty good time right now. I don't know if we would necessarily clear at this pace, but 7,000. Okay, that's a little bit. That's honestly a little bit better than I thought. It's only 15% though, but yeah, doing pretty well right now. 2 minutes in, almost half his health gone. Not bad, Norn. Not bad. Let's try to get the. He's got a 100%. That was bad. He's got a 100% increase as well, like a 100% damage proc on his 3rd skill. So he could actually, he might be a two-way character. He might be a character that maybe, maybe he needs to get his tier 3, maybe he needs to get his uniform, like maybe he needs to get a uniform in the future, but I think he's going to be a character that will be able to do, did I not get a heal there? Will be able to do PvE content with a PvP build, because he has so much all defense down. He's got 65%, minus 65% with a 10-second cooldown, or with a 10-second application, which is really, really good. So I think that, coupled with the self-buffs on his 3rd skill, make it so that he will be really good for PvE, or he'll be good enough for PvE even if he just has a PvP build. Like with the CTP of Regen or CTP of Authority like that, something like that. I've heard people say he's good with... The hell? What are you doing there, dude? I've heard people say he's good with the CTP of Rage. I've also heard people say he's good with the CTP of Energy. So I've heard kind of both, and I just cannot stop getting myself time frozen. I don't know what's wrong with me, but yeah. I'm not trying to kill Silver Surfer, but you know, if you didn't know better, you'd think that I was trying to kill Silver Surfer. But yeah, he's good, man. He's just really good. He's just solid all around. You get the buffs. He's got multiple iframes on 4 and 2. He's got the healing and all the self buffs on 3. Iframe ignore, which again I'm not testing out in PvP just yet, but you know, it's got its applications. It's got the healing, it's got the self buffs, and then you got the all defense down on 4. You got the immunity on 5. It's just like, you know, he's not really missing much. Just more stats. More stats would just make him hit harder and make him harder to kill. And for those of you that are wondering if he'll get a uniform, yeah, I do think he will. Now, how long it's going to take Silver Surfer to get a uniform, that question is, you know, you have as good of an answer as I do. But he definitely has different looks in the comics. They're not all that different from the look we're looking at right now, Silver on a surfboard. But I'm sure Netmarble can come up with something if they want to, you know, and especially for a character like this, they can possibly sell a 2,500 crystal uniform, and you know Netmarble loves to sell those expensive uniforms. We're not going to get the kill here, but damn, the fact that he can survive for 5 minutes with a 7,000 HP heal that I barely even get off more than like half the time, or more than like 60% of the time. And the fact that he is able to do enough damage to almost get there without strikers is actually really impressive. So I am, you know, I think that despite his cost, I think people are going to be happy. They may not see right now where Silver Surfer fits. You might not necessarily have a reason to get him, like you might not have a justifiable reason to unlock him, whereas you have a better reason to get other characters. But damn, he puts it down. He survives. He's cool, fun to play. He did 40, was that 40 or 44 million damage as a tier 2 level 60 with no strikers, with a 120% ghetto ass proc. So yeah, that's my first look and first impression of Silver Surfer. I think he's going to continue to impress people, and they're going to find, you know, new ways and new things to do with him. Is he going to be the absolute #1 character in the game? Probably not. But if he gets a uniform, if he gets a tier 3, he could absolutely be the undisputed #1 character. And a last note, a final note that I want to give you guys for PvP specifically. Sorry, I had some like dirt on my screen. I was trying to rub it off. He's never banned. Silver Surfer is never going to be banned for PvP, for timeline battle, until they rework the actual restricted lists, because Captain Marvel's never banned, Doctor Doom is never banned, and Silver Surfer will never be banned either until they update them. So that is another plus for him in PvP. Is he going to be able to hang with the tier 3 genes and the other tier 3s? I don't know, but consider all of that, and consider his crazy power in PvE with just an obelisk. Hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if he's worth the cost or not. Is he worth it over building up another native tier 2 like Thanos? I'm going to have to cover that in a later video. Let me know what you want to see next. Subscribe if you enjoyed the content and you want to support me. And of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you later today. Take care.